Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm gonna show you a post that I've made on Reddit, specifically under subreddit FIRE, which is Financial Independence Retire Early. And I wanted to get the gist of what people think out there on Reddit. So this is the post that I'm gonna showcase and the replies that I got for it. And how do I think people reacted to this? I told them that I've invested 220K in SPY, QQQ, and SCHD from my active income, but now I want to see high yield stocks or ETF to work for me. Basically, want my money to make money for me with the horizon of roughly 10 years, so I can retire early in my 50s or late 40s. I wanted to get some help on best high yield dividend ETFs, and in the description I clearly write it down that I have invested this much money in all of these from my active income. And I personally do not think that I invested in SCHD at the right time because it hasn't been my best of the picks. I have roughly about 1,600 shares, which are producing me roughly $400 every quarter. And what I was referring to was this portfolio that I have. So I have this $225,000 portfolio in which I hold QQQ, SPY, SCHD, and a few other stocks, but mainly QQQ, SPY, and SCHD are bulk of my investment, roughly 30% each. So then the replies were really interesting. One of the person said that if you have a horizon of 10 years, you should not be thinking about dividend stocks. And I appreciate all these replies, but some of these replies I beg to differ, because you see here he wanted me to invest. So then I replied about the ETFs that I'm looking for are mainly GPIQ, QQQI, and JEPQ mainly, and I hold GPIQ in my Roth IRA as well, which I told you guys in my previous video as well. But then they are talking about tax reduction that dividends have over time, and it's interesting to see my replies were getting minus 10 votes. So people who have seen this post really didn't like it. Which I don't mind. I've seen a similar reaction to my other Reddit posts that I've made in finance industry, and I really want to understand the thought behind it, the idea behind it, because I personally think that I know a thing or two related to tax, related to the ETFs that I hold, and overall portfolio, which now is worth over $225,000. But apparently, everyone here seemed to be a champion with their knowledge. So most of them suggested me to go with the Bogle had the strategy, basically holding just VT, whereas some suggested VTI for total stock market overall with 2,000 stocks in it. Then we have VUG suggestion, but mainly the focus was on growth. I think what I couldn't convey across with this post is that I really wanted to retire early. I know that there are growth stocks and ETFs, but it does take time, to me personally, even with the dividend stocks, that you keep investing on them and not only buying more and more, but also reinvesting dividends for a long span of time. And that is what makes you money passively. And that's what I personally think it is. Some of them said SCHD is waste, and I totally agree with it. Looking at the last 1 year performance, especially last 3 years, I would say, since 2022, which was a better year for SCHD, it only went down 3% when the market was down 20%. But since then, end of 2022, SCHD has been lacking, and we are almost at the end of 2025. So last 3 years or so, the performance has been down the drain if you have invested in SCHD. And then there are a few other people which hit the nail in the head. What the actual information that I was looking for. So on the high yield dividend ETFs, I was looking for some information. And they're suggesting that, you can dabble around QQQI or JEPQ or even Huey and Misty, but these are extremely risky covered call ETFs or their strategies, if they're not selling covered call, like in JEPQ case, they have ELNs. So they are risky bets, especially the single ETFs, which I agree 100%. I don't want to do anything related to Misty or Hui, especially when I'm looking on a horizon for 10 years. But I did look into Alti, QDVO, BTCI, QQQI, and GPIQ, along with all the other core holdings. So I'm not gonna sell any of my SPY, QQQ, or SCHD ever, hopefully. But I just wanna hold them for long term because that's what the goal is. So these will always be my core positions, but I wanna add some assets that can generate me some passive income, because after 223 or $25,000 in a portfolio, I feel I need some income coming in, so this money should make me some money. Of course, I know that SPY, QQQ, and SCHD all pay dividends, and roughly about $450 for quarter combined with all three of them in this portfolio. But that $400 percentage wise, it hardly makes any difference. It doesn't go back in reinvestment so that I can, have the snowball coming in. And that was the whole point of me asking out on the internet. But then there was this one suggestion that I really liked and I wanted to showcase. So this prairie buyer said that YouTube finance guys are usually lying to you. So I don't know if he knows or not, but I'm also making YouTube videos, financial videos here, but I'm not suggesting or telling you guys to buy anything, but I'm doing it for myself and showcasing it to show you guys what I'm doing. But what he says here is important. So he said, trying to build wealth with the dividend focus. However, just doesn't work. If you are trying to build a diversified portfolio of high yield stocks in US, the best you're gonna do is about 4.5% as seen on SPYD, which is S&P 500 high dividend yield ETF. But compare the return of this. So last 20 years, he said SPYD has seen half of the return of SPY, meaning if you have invested $1 in SPY, it would have doubled, while SPYD has raised only half of what SPY would have. So that's a good point there. But then what this person is doing himself is he's retired with the fire in mind at 50, and he has portfolio heavy on Canadian blue chip dividend stocks with a total yield of 5%. And that's another thing. I think there are a few portfolios that I have showcased previously on my this channel basically, but different videos where I've showcased some portfolios, some stock that I think long term are here to stay. They can generate good passive income, but also they are here to stay. So these stocks, say for example, FLAC, J&J, TPL, Williamson Noma, RSG, Microsoft, Waste Management, WGG, ADP, Illinois, all of these are stocks that I personally think are here to stay. So that's another option that I am willing to dive in. The only problem with this approach, and I love this, I think this is my favorite response that I've seen, but the only problem with this approach is extremely slow growth. So if I only have 10 years to come and I'm not getting any dividends, which I can reinvest, and I'm contributing a very like $1,600 a month for the next 10 years. I want to see some growth. Um, Part of it should be coming either from the dividend reinvestment plans or DRIP, and part of it should either be coming from the high growth. So this strategy is neither high growth nor it is high dividend yield so that I can reinvest and have a snowball working for me. But I personally would still think that this is a good future safe strategy, because in his last paragraph here he says there are two things that you need to take care of: capital preservation, first thing, right? And the second thing is dividend growth, so that you can beat the inflation and have a portfolio that reserve that preserve your principal. And these are the two fine goals for the retirement. So I'll see how I approach this on my portfolio moving forward. But for now, I'm just selling cash secured puts and covered calls on the ETFs and stocks that I hold in this portfolio. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys will like this video, and let me know in the comment section, what do you feel about the comments that I've seen and I've gotten from Reddit. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care of yourself and people around you. Goodbye.